It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun and the sky, a beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our show, The Philosophy of the Islamic Law. We are glad to welcome with us in the studio Professor Muhammad Saie, the professor of the Islamic Law in several universities in America, in the School of Sharia. Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome, inshallah.
Professor Muhammad, the last episode you were talking about the graduality of the Sharia, how it was, and you mentioned that the last shape of Sharia, we cannot anymore use this graduality, how it was revealed upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you mentioned that how it was tough in the beginning upon the companions, upon the Muslims, regarding the ibadat, the rules how to worship Allah, and gradually it become easier. And the vice versa was in the ruling how to rule the relationship with each other, which was so easy and gradually become so tough until the end shape, the last shape now. Let me ask you, if you can please give us more details about how, regarding the relationship with others, how it become tougher. And if you can give us one example or two how the rules upon the Muslims, how to worship Allah, become easier.
Yes. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا من لدنك علما اجعل هذا كله خالصا لوجهك الكريم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي آمين. Studying the rules of this Islamic law does indicate very clearly and strongly that the final draft, the final shape of this Islamic law has come in the section of ruling your relationship with Allah, the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala, based, as we said, on forgiveness and easiness. And if you go to the second section, this rules based on miserliness and toughness. This is the final shape, the final draft. It does match, this final draft does match the nature of the relationship between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does match the attribute of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the most generous. He is the one who is not in need to anyone. So if He made it subhanahu wa ta'ala easy on you regarding His right, regarding His commandment, how to worship Him, it does fit, it does match in the all attribute of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when it comes to the right of the people, it does match the nature Allah created them. Your nature as a human being does not accept to give up on your right, does not accept to be easy in your right in this life regarding your health or wealth or anything, your honor, your blood, anything could be considered as your belongings. You are so miser in that field. So it does come, these rules, to match the nature of you. And if you just give some pictures, some examples, that will clarify the whole issue we are talking about right now. In the field of the worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you don't have the ability to pray while you are standing, it is possible, it is acceptable to pray while you are sitting. You cannot pray while you are sitting, you pray while you are maybe laying down. Sometimes you're not able even to pray while you are laying down, just while you are maybe closing your eyes. You cannot even open your eyes. You are just laying down on your back. Something happened to your face. You cannot even open your eyes. You could pray while you are imagining, thinking that you are in the standing position, or you are now in the ruku' position. So you should pass all these positions on your mind, and you recite. You cannot recite openly by moving your lips secretly. So the way you are able to do it, just pray. The whole issue, you have to pray. But the other issue, pray the way you are able to pray. This is easiness. You should have water to use it for your ablution, to prepare yourself for prayer. You don't have water, maybe because you don't have it, you are not able to use it for maybe very cold weather, or you are a winded person, you could go to the replacement, the alternative of the ablution, use the dust. So this is easiness. You are traveling. It is acceptable in Islamic law in that section to make a combined prayers. You could combine between Dhuhr and Asr, or Maghrib or Isha. You are able to shorten your prayer, the 4 rak'ah prayer, like Dhuhr, Asr, Isha. Instead of praying 4 rak'ah, you pray 2 rak'ah. All this reflecting the easiness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in the section of ibadat. Because as we said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to make it easy on you. So you're able to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, matching His attributes subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time give you the ability to get closer to Him in the easiest way. If you go to the second section of the ruling your right or ruling others' right, you will have it very tough. I remember the Prophet saying sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding backbiting. When he heard Sayyidah Aisha, the wife of the Prophet alayhi wasallam, he was not easy on Sayyidah Aisha alayhi wasallam. He was very tough on that issue. When she just mentioned, she did not say it clearly that that lady is short, but she was referring to her height. But she is not like a tall lady. He was very angry, very upset with his point, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said that statement. You have said a word. If that word to be mixed with the water of the ocean or the water of the sea would be more enough to mix it, to change the whole nature of that water. لقد قلت كلمة لو مزجت ماء البحر لمزجته. She was just referring. So it's very tough. If someone was just saying that that lady committed adultery, or that man, he's not the real son of that lady. He said just maybe one word. Oh, this is not your mother. And he did not say anything more than that. That to be fit in the category of al-qadhf. Al-qadhf, when someone is slandering the honor, the legitimacy of his origin. And it's enough to carry on that kind of accusation, and he will be accused, indicted in Islamic law, either to bring evidence supporting what he claimed, and even if he said, I was joking, I was angry, does not work with the Islamic law. If you say something like this, either you have to bring your evidence, your proof, supporting what you claimed against that person, or you'll be punished. Period, cut. There's no halfway that will forgive you because you were joking or did not mean it. You will find that in this another thing we'll talk about it maybe later on, that intention, good intention, does have a big role in the section of ibadat, worshipping, but it is very little role does play in the section of ruling others right, ruling your relationship with others. So if you go to the section of muamalat or ruling your relationship with others, you will find that Islamic law is very tough on that issue. If you say a bad word, if you steal just one penny, if you backbite a person with one word, if you try to enter a home of someone, property of someone without his permission, if you look through a hole from a door to see someone, to try to break the privacy of someone, you'll be punished in the toughest way in Islamic law. So that reflects how much Islam was tough, because does match you as a human being. You cannot give up on your right easily, and this is what does fit you and match you to protect all what is belong to you in this life. Now, if you compare between first section and the second section, the conclusion of it means that Islam has come to make the section of worshipping very easy. So it's helping you to be able to carry on the message or the meaning of worshipping Him subhanahu wa ta'ala through the second section. So you have to carry on the meaning of section of ibadat, enable you to fulfill the responsibilities in the second section. So this is what the final shape of the Islamic law has taken through its maybe different stages in the Islamic history, to show how much Islam was combining between the first section and the second section, matching the nature of the human being, naturally the attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you cannot find this but in the Islamic law, because this is the law of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala.
SubhanAllah. We will go for a quick break. Please stay with us. We have more to say.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Those who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, for those who want to enter the Jannah, the paradise that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for the believers. And that's why we need to learn, and we need to get to know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us, so that we submit ourselves to the orders of Allah. And this is knowledge that we need to learn. Why we're spending more time to look into the verses and to the meanings of the verses in depth, so that we can get to learn from it what we need ourselves to be steadfast, to be obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ponder over the meanings of the miraculous words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.
Welcome back. Professor Muhammad, before we went to the break, you were talking about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easy on people how to worship Him, make it easy that if you are sick, you can praying sitting down or laying down according to your situation. But some people might take this in different direction. Let me tell you one of the cases that we face in the West in general. If a lady converted to Islam and she knows that she has to wear hijab, she has to wear a veil, a scarf to cover her head, would it that fit that make it easy to do not cover in front of her parents, because she wants to call them to Islam, she wants to open their hearts, and she can cover her head away from them when she's by herself, but when she goes out with them, she doesn't cover her head, so they might listen to what she's saying and not pushing them away. Would that fit in become easy in the way to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
No. First of all, we have to clear this point by saying the rules of hijab in Islam does not go under the section of worshipping. It's under the section of ruling your relationship with others.
Really?
Yes. It is the right of the people. It is the right of the Muslim lady to be covered, to protect her, to protect her honor, her beauty, her modesty, her dignity, her family. It is the right of the society to be protected against temptations, attractions. So it is in the section of the right of the people, not in the section of the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But I'd like just to clarify the meaning here between right of Allah, right of the people, because sometimes you have mixed. Because Muslim scholars, they are so genius. When sometimes in the section of right of the people, they intervene to put or to involve the right of Allah in them. When they say an example, if someone has stolen something and his hand has to be cut, and the one who been stolen from his wealth or from his property, he said, I'm going to forgive him. I don't want anything from him. If that issue was raised and reached the judge, the Muslim judge, or the ruler, Muslim ruler, and the Muslim, they said at that time, Muslim scholars, we have to differentiate between that before this kind of incident reached the judge or the government or the ruler, or before that. Before that, it is like the right of that person. Someone did steal something from someone. Before he leave the home, he said, well, stop, where are you going? You have stolen something from me. Yes, because I am in need to that. All right, I forgive you. Don't do it again. He is able to do something like this.
Okay.
But if that incident been documented, and that person was indicted from Islamic law point of view, and that reached the Muslim judge, the Muslim government, the ruler, that person, the owner of that property or that maybe money, he has no chance to say, well, just release him. They said at that time, this is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your right is being gone right now. What they mean by right of Allah in this point? Well, they have some difference about the forgiving or maybe removing or dismissing someone from being punished if that issue did reach the government or maybe the Muslim judge. But how they philosophize this issue? By saying this is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like someone committed adultery, someone raped someone, and that lady was raped by that person. Before that incident reached the judge, she said, I will not tell anybody. I'm very angry, very upset. You did commit a big crime against me, but I would like to advise you to go and repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah forgive you. She dropped her right for that person to be punished. It is possible to happen this way. As we said before, we don't know exactly, definitely, 100% if that person will be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by just repent to Allah. Because still some right here. At least he will be punished. We cannot make sure that he will be forgiven 100%. But suppose that the same incident did reach the Muslim judge or governor. This lady cannot say, please don't punish him. It is my right. I'm going to drop my right. Muslim scholars, they said, it is not up to you. It is up to the Islamic law now. And that punishment has to
Take place.
to be taken place, has to be applied. Why they said this is right of Allah? What they mean by right of Allah? Long time ago, they said right of Allah. In our modern law, they said this is the public right. Al-Haqqul Ham. Because Muslim scholars, they were so genius, so smart, so advanced in their thought. They said if society heard that incident has taken place in that street or that district, this town, and that person who committed that crime did not take his right from the punishment. The punishment was not applied on him. That means there's some kind of easiness here on committing crime. That will encourage people to do that crime more and more. So they said, if that reached the Muslim government or the judge, that punishment has to be applied on that person to just prevent that kind of sense that we have some easiness on the right of the people. So if you just compare this by saying the hijab, rule the hijab, it is not in the section of the ibadat, in the section of the people rights. So if some lady want to say, well, I don't care about myself, I don't want to put the hijab because my hijab is inside my heart. I am so modest in my heart. We said, well, lady, sorry to say that. It is not enough to have your modesty inside your heart, because we are not going just to protect you from someone, we are going to protect someone from you.
Okay.
It's like you are exchanging benefit. You are exchanging benefit with some other people when you are applying your Islamic rule on yourself. So that lady, when she is putting the hijab, she is benefiting herself, benefiting others. She is preventing some damage to happen to her or some damage to happen to someone else. So it is not up to her. This first point. The second point, when someone would like to compromise some of the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to deliver the message to someone, like her family, her parents, we are telling this lady, you have to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not be pleased with you unless you are considering His pleasant in your aim, in your goal, and in your method, in your means how to please Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way you are pleasing Him while you're putting your hijab, the way you are pleasing Him by calling your family, your parent, to understand Islam, the same way you have to please Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way you are delivering this message to Him. You cannot deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through compromising the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in that case, you are not pleasing Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are pleasing someone else. So if you'd like to please Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, please the Creator, please Him, the way you are delivering the message, and your intention by delivering that message. So you are wrought by all this meaning, the way and the goal, the application of the rule of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the way to apply these rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third point, that you should not please someone at the expenses of the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fourth point, you cannot save someone at the expense of your safety. They say all the time, Muslim scholars, save yourself first and then save others.
You mean save yourself from the hellfire?
Yes. Save yourself from the hellfire, then if you are able to serve, to save others people, that would be a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you cannot save someone from the hellfire while you are drowning in the hellfire. وَلَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. So even this is the ayat have said that the rules of the safety in the plane, when you go to the plane and the flying from city to another city, put the mask first and then you put it for your child second. You cannot save someone from drowning while you are drowning. Save yourself first and then you are able to help others. And these rules could be applied in every aspect of life, inshallah ta'ala, that to be considered when someone would like to deliver the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to anyone else.
Inshallah. And that, I think, will show a dedication. If a lady who is new in Islam and she wear hijab, that will show how much she believes in her faith, and show to her family that this religion really changed her, and show a dedication. And that will be a da'wah by itself, a stronger da'wah than show them that nothing is changed actually.
Right.
She look the same, she act the same, so what is the difference? But if she wear hijab and she act differently, nicer and more polite, I think that will be a better da'wah.
MashaAllah, exactly. And we have just to mention that very quickly that some people, they forgot about this fact. When we have like a new Muslim, someone become a Muslim like yesterday or 2 months ago or 2 years ago, always we have as Muslims, original Muslims, we have this kind of impression. We have this kind of maybe feeling that he is so poor. We need to be very easy on him. We need to be very naive or maybe very soft on him because he's a new Muslim. And we forgot that this new Muslim has become a new Muslim within the Muslim world, within the new century, within our time, when that new Muslim has beside him more than thousands, millions of Muslims, when he has maybe tens of Muslim countries, when he has Mecca and Medina, when he has all these satellite TV and Islamic channels, he's been surrounded by the fact of Islam is existing. What about the Sahaba? When they become Muslim, a new Muslim. Now we say Sahaba, but before they become Sahaba, they were ordinary people. Like anyone before he became Muslim in our modern time. That man who, when he would like to declare Islam on the time of the Prophet ﷺ, we forgot sometimes the atmosphere, the environment, the impression, the conditions, the circumstances, that he's going to say, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, when he's going to announce his Islam about a religion. It's not being recognized yet. About the Prophet, he's still fighting for his entity and identity, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He's still fighting about his claim that he's a prophet from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was very hard on the Sahaba, very, very hard. But even it was very hard on them, it's very difficult. And they did, all of them, going through hardship in the beginning of their Islam, but they did not make any one of them to just take some kind of maybe break of compromising of his deen or his Islam. And all of us will remember that famous story from the Prophet ﷺ when he was laying down in around the Kaaba, when that Sahabi, Khabbab ibn al-Arad, came to the Prophet ﷺ, he did not complain. He did not ask the Prophet ﷺ for not to give him some break on the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or to show some of his maybe false maybe faith or religion. But he asked the Prophet to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy on them. So what was the reply from the Prophet ﷺ?
What was it?
Can we have enough time to say?
Okay, unfortunately we don't have enough time. Unfortunately that's all the time that we have for today. Inshallah we'll continue next episode, inshallah, to complete this story. We would like to thank Professor Muhammad for being with us and sharing his knowledge with us. Please visit us next episode, we have more to say. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's more than just coincidence. You look around and see the earth, the moon, the sun and the sky, a beautiful creation of Allah. So how could you deny?
How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar. How can you deny the oneness of Allah? Allahu Akbar.